All right, we're live. Give it a couple seconds for everything to kick in. Pull up my iPad here.
Yeah, do you want me to keep an eye on chat?
Yeah, sure. I gotta turn my volume down. Hey everybody, Sean Dotson here with The Flip Side. It's July 7th, 2018, and this is your weekend update. So I don't know if anybody's noticed, but there's actually somebody here with me. Everybody should know who this is. This is Jason Dent, otherwise known as Fenn Treasure Hunter. So Jason, go ahead and say hi.
Howdy, Fenn Treasure Hunter, Jason Dent. It's a pleasure to be here, Sean. Glad you invited me on for the weekend update.
Yeah, glad to have you here. I think it's going to be fun. It'll be a little bit different, and people are going to be a little surprised. So everybody tonight, just letting you know, as usual, I'm having a beer. And this is called a Happy Camper IPA, and it is brewed by the Santa Fe Brewing Company here in the great state of New Mexico. So I'm going to go ahead and get that poured and get that ready. So it was really a great week. There was a lot of surprises that happened, and Jason was obviously a big surprise this week. And we will definitely talk about that when we get to talking about Jason's channel. But just want to tell everybody, cheers.
Folgers dark roast in the Starbucks mug.
You're good. It's all right. Are you on duty this weekend? Is that a big reason why? I mean, I don't even know. Do you even drink beer? Do you have a beverage of choice?
Crown and Coke is my beverage of choice.
My wife would love you.
Well, she better love you. That'll be drama in the community. Yep. I do drink beer occasionally, but if I do, it's got to be from a local brewery. I might have taken some shots earlier, but yeah, just haven't really drank on camera yet. So
that's all right, brother.
I get very vocal and opinionated. Not my normal reserved self. So
well, and you are serving our country, as you have to live up to a higher standard than us poor civvies.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's get right to it, folks. It was a great week. There was a lot going on, so let's get right to it. Again, we'll do about 15 or 16 minutes of going through everything. Now, we've got Jason here, so we might get a few more, talks back and forth. But at the end of this, I'll segue over to my opinion piece, and at that point in time, you can shut us off if you don't want to hear my opinion. So we're going to get right to it, folks. And we're going to start with a Gypsy's Kiss. And Tuesday, they had Cynthia Meacham on, and we all know Cynthia Meacham. She's one of our very veteran searchers, probably one of the best advocates in the chase, in my opinion. But the interview with Cynthia on there went for about an hour and 20 minutes, and Cynthia had some really great insight on some of the direct information coming from Forrest Fenn and some of the background noise that a lot of us don't get to hear. So if you haven't gone and watched that video with Cynthia, I definitely highly suggest you go watch it. There was also, she did talk in there about her time there in Yellowstone, and now that she doesn't believe that it's in Yellowstone. I don't ever think she really believed it was, but she did do some searches in there. And also on her blog, which I have provided a link in the description below to her blog, she did talk about her searches around Ojo Caliente and also of the function at the junction, and those people were out there, and she kind of went in detail on that. So definitely go over and check out her blog too. It's definitely worth it. And I forgot to say to hi everybody in the chat room, so I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. Dale Richards, how you doing? William Ortiz, Sledneck, totally not Mitzi, good to see you in there. K-Pro, good to see you. The Call, how you doing? Sasha Johnston, how you doing, Sasha? Dale Richards, Fossilman, Chris Jones, and if I'm seeing anybody else, David Kowalski. I keep thinking Mike Kowalski from Monsters, Inc. when I see that. Ben Downing, how you doing? David Kramer, I don't know who that guy is. He's kind of a crazy guy. How you doing, Dave? Okay, yeah. Jason Eunice, how you doing, Jason? Good to see you there. Michael Elder also. And Michael Elder from Colorado, good to see you. So yeah, hi everybody. Again, I forgot to say hi to you in the beginning, but now I'm going back to a Gypsy's Kiss. This Wednesday, they did a short recap of Margie Goldsmith's article in Forbes magazine where they went over that. And if you're not familiar with that that new article that came out. I think it was it the 2nd of July or was it the 4th of July? I'd have to, yeah, it was on the 4th of July, actually, Independence Day, that article came out. And it was a rehash from, I hate to call it a rehash, but to me, it was kind of, some information I think we've already kind of heard, repackaged a little bit. But they did do a recap of that on their Wednesday show, which was the 4th of July. Now, Thursday, they did their book club, which was part 3 of a 7-part series on the chapter, My War for Me. And that's, obviously the longest story in the Thrill of the Chase. And then Saturday, he actually did a video that I personally haven't watched today. It's Saturdays today. Isn't that funny? Again, I've only had one beer, folks. But they did, if you're new to the search, you need to watch this video. I haven't personally gone and watched it. I'm not new to the search, but if you are, you got something to add to that, Jay?
Yeah, so I watched it. It was a very good video and talked about a lot of the resources that new searchers could use. It really went into some of the different blog sites and even Toby's blog that really laid out exactly where to go for that information. So even if they're not new to the chase, but they're new to like the blogs and where to find other information other than YouTube, I highly recommend that video. It was well done.
Great. Well, thank you, Jay. See, perfect. That's what I've got you here. You're catching what I missed. That's awesome. Great. Thank you. So now I'm going to move on to a blaze of glory, our friend Eric Hall. And this week he put out a couple of videos. One was titled Forrest Fenn Poem and Commercial. And he kind of went into talking about, that one New Mexico True video where Forrest Fenn had said, if you were standing where the treasure chest is, you would see blah, 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 blah. And he kind of went into that. So it was definitely a good video by Eric. And he also did another video about what about that creek, another great video as well by Eric. And I think he's doing it out actually in the field where he is searching now. So that's great, Eric. We like watching your videos and we look forward to some more updates. And folks, if you haven't gone over, and watch some of his videos, go check him out and subscribe to his channel. He's definitely an interesting guy. He's got a great sense of humor too, if you pick up on it. Next, I had the fact I was going to talk about Cynthia Meacham. And again, I kind of already talked about her when she was on the, A Gypsy's Kiss this Tuesday. But again, I put the link down to her, her blog in the description below. And you can go to that and you can kind of see her talking about, the function to the junction. And she has one in there. It's called Back to Basics, where she is talking about, her search there in the Yellowstone area. So definitely some good stuff from Cynthia, and I highly suggest you go check it out. Next, I'm going to talk about this weird guy named Fenn Treasure Hunter. I don't know much about this guy. But anyway, we all know who Fenn Treasure Hunter is. If you don't, he's sitting right here with me. But this week, he did a live show with Illinois Ghost. And he also had DeCall Thomas on there. So it was a great show. He had 2 different people. He kind of split it up over the show. Thought it was a great job. And if you haven't watched that video, you should definitely go listen to that. But now I'm going to turn the mic over, so to speak, to my good friend Jason Dent here. And I'm going to let him talk a little bit about, his experience this week and what he got to do. So Jason, go for it, brother.
Yeah, I had kind of a boring week. I went up to go do this boots on the ground up in Santa Fe, and I didn't find indulgence and no bracelet to give back to Forrest Fenn. But I really went up there because, Chris from K-Pro helped her out with one of her, it was 3 contests. So we did a drawing on that through my channel. And then, I was kind of giving her a bad time before it all took place and said, I'll do it for a Forrest Fenn doodle. And that's a pretty tall order of anybody, right? So she worked it out so she could meet him at the bookstore and get a book autographed. And they started talking a lot about the military service. And, I'm 19 years in, company first sergeant. And, being an E8 or first sergeant / master sergeant, senior NCOs in the military hold a special place with Forrest Fenn. So, he personally invited me to go up and visit him in his home. Remarkable visit. I want to play a drinking game for you guys. If you go to my channel and watch the video for meeting Forrest Fenn, anytime I say awesome or amazing, you got to take a shot. But I can't be held responsible for how drunk you get.
Nice.
But when I came back from Santa Fe, I put that video together. It does have a video embedded in my live chat that I did that shows me presenting Forrest with a flag that was flown in Afghanistan. It was kind of a special thing that I could do. That's a very sentimental gift for anybody that serves in a combat zone. So I thought it was fitting to give that gift to him. Unfortunately, I didn't get any hints. I did my boots on the ground after I talked to him, and it was totally unsuccessful. So nothing I got from that conversation helped me find the chest. But it was a remarkable visit. We talked about the military service. We talked about a lot of the stories that were in The Thrill of the Chase and Too Far to Walk, but we went a little bit more in depth on some of the stories. So it was a very unique visit that I think, if anybody was afforded that opportunity like I was, just hop in a plane or your vehicle to go up there and visit him. You guys will not be disappointed. The artifacts, his home is a museum. Just to go there and visit is a remarkable experience.
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's great. I have to say you did an outstanding job of representing the community very well in your presentation of that flag to Mr. Fenn, and just, the honest appreciation that you had of the opportunity of visiting him. I think that speaks volumes of, who you are as a person and a representative of our country. And I just want to say from me, and my family, we definitely appreciate your service, and also from the community, of representing us, well there and visiting Forrest in his home. And I just have to ask one question. I know that everybody in the chat room is dying to ask this one question. Did Mr. Fenn make you take the trash out?
He may or may not have made me take the trash from his garage out to the dumpster.
If Shiloh wasn't there, he's going to make you do all that too.
Hey, I will add something to this. After I put that video out, I had somebody comment on my channel, and I think it's kind of an important channel or comment, because it was it would be interesting to see how many current searchers served, what service, and for how long. So they were saying, as a YouTuber, perhaps I should ask everyone to send their service info, and I could create a rolling video of names, service, final grade, and dates, similar to what Rick is doing for the Doodles. And I could do the same to show the military influence that Forrest has had on the chase.
It's a great idea.
And of course, they told me, they commented again. It was Craig Carter. He commented again saying that I should start it off with Forrest Fenn, Major, United States Air Force, retired, with his dates of service on there, which I think that is important, and that's something I kind of want to do. So I want to do that and get it set up for Veterans Day. So that gives me a couple months to get that information, and I'll probably be putting out a video for everybody to be able to contact me to put that information out. So
I think that's a great idea. I think a lot of people would appreciate that.
So if Craig Carter is watching, I am going to do your idea. I think it's amazing, and then I can go back and look at it and handpick my special team of highly qualified personnel to go recover this treasure with me.
Right. Put together your special ops team.
Yep.
I like it. Well, cool. Well, great. I just want to say on behalf of all the community, I think I speak for them all. I think that you did an outstanding job of representing us and our country when you visited Forrest at his home. So
I appreciate that, and it was an honor to represent all the military service members involved in the search up there by presenting him that flag and portraying the love of country that we both share. So
sure. Yep. Great job. And I'm sure the chat room people will definitely comment on that. Just let the chat room know, we're not ignoring you. We will, once we get to the end of this, we'll go through here and look for some questions. And if you have a question that's directed to Jason or myself. Just put the @ sign in there with Flip or the flip side, or to Jason Dent or Finn Treasure Hunter, and we'll try and pick those questions and everything out. Again, I like to try and keep this to a half an hour. I don't know if that's going to be possible tonight with having a guest on here and everything we've got to talk about, but we'll see how it goes, folks. Again, we just flow. So now I want to move on to our friend Illinois Ghost, Rick McDonald. But this week, as I already mentioned, he was on with Jason Dent, Finn Treasure Hunter, on his channel on Tuesday. And that was a great show if you haven't watched it. And again, DeCall Thomas was also, one of my partners in crime on the after show, was on there as well with Jason. So definitely go watch those out. But also this week on his on Illinois Ghost's website, Ghost Adventures, he had what he calls his word that he gets from Forrest, and that came out on the 1st of July, which was was Sunday. And I did not mention it last week, but the word was queer. And there's been a lot of conjecture about what Forrest means by that word, whether it's a noun or a verb or what it means. But there's been a lot of talk about that. But you might go over there and on Illinois Ghost's site and see the discussions going on that as well. And it's all over all the forums as well. Next, I'm going to move on to It Is What It Is Productions. And this week, he put out a 3-part video series about the word special. And he went into, his thoughts on what that word means. And it was a 3-part video series. And I did get to watch all those. And it's definitely worth going over and listening to what, he has to say about that word. He kind of breaks it down, as a child would look at it. And I think that was very interesting how he did that. But definitely some good work, and he always puts out some good videos. I enjoy watching him, and you get to see his cat once in a while. It's pretty funny. I like how he does that. Cheers, dilly to you all. Jason, you got anything to say on any of those? I know I went over Illinois Ghost and Is What It Is Productions really fast there.
No, I didn't watch them. I was busy. Sorry.
I think you were a little preoccupied, right?
Yeah, with travel.
Excuses. Like, really? Come on. Couldn't come up with something better than that?
Yeah, I was busy. I'm sorry.
Next, I'm going to talk about Man Alone. And Man Alone this week had a couple of videos came out. One, he talked about the gut feeling wavering, and he went into his thoughts about what that meant. And I thought he had some good insight on that. And you should definitely go over and listen to his video. But he also put one out today that I thought was pretty interesting. And he called it The Turning Point in the Chase, or is this a turning point in the chase? And he went on to talk about, do some searchers have kind of an advantage based on geography and where they live? And if Forrest Fenn thought of everything, did he not try and tailor this more towards an armchair search where you can figure out all 9 clues from home and then go out and find the treasure? Now, I personally don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand where he's coming from. And I think maybe, when Forrest Fenn had said he wished he had another treasure in the Appalachians to hide, that he kind of understood, some people's, I hate to call it frustration, but because they don't live close to the search area. Some people like, I hate to say, well, I do like to say, but Jason, does live in El Paso, but he's got kind of a straight shot, for some. And you got somebody like Illinois Ghost, who's got to drive, 2,200 miles round trip to get to the search area. And we got people that are in the UK, we got people that are in Australia and all over the country. So some of us, I do feel are somewhat blessed to live, closer to the Rocky Mountains or even within the Rocky Mountains. But I understand where Man Alone is coming from that. So it's definitely a good video. I highly suggest you go check out that video. And one thing, if I can talk about, and there's been a lot of talk about this, is that I think Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt originally was more tailored to a smaller community until, Margie Goldsmith and those alikes had put that story into the Hemisphere magazine. And then, like he said, it was like a bomb. It just blew up. This thing, went bigger than probably he ever imagined it to go. So I don't know. There's more to that than that, but definitely a couple of videos from Man Alone this week. And I highly suggest you go check them out. Anything on that, Jason?
Nope. I'm answering questions in the chat.
Hey, that's great, man. If you can keep an eye on those, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll try and get to those to the end of all this, and then we'll go back to it. But next was our friend Paul over in the UK. He put out, and his goes by Paul, I think it is. But he put out a couple of videos this week. One was, he calls it his rant video, and the other was a gut feeling video. And in Paul's rant video, he kind of goes on, a little bit of discussion about some of the drama that has ensued, not only in the YouTube and the Fenn tubers, but he also, kind of went into some of the stuff on the forums too. And he has some good points in there. So you might go check out his videos as well. Now I want to move on to Rambling Pam, our good mellow yellow friend. And she put out a video this week, a short video titled July Trip Plans. And she has plans in this July to actually go up into the Montana, Wyoming area. So I put a couple comments in there on hers that of some places that she might go check out for her husband. That's some beautiful areas that I've gone to. So if any of you are watching her channels and you've got some suggestions, you might go over to her channel and put some comments in there and like her video and, tell her some of your favorite areas up there. Tell her where your treasure chest is or the treasure is so she can go find it for you and pick it up for you. But yeah, go over there and put some comments in her channel as well. Next, I want to talk about Rodney Greenway. And Rodney this week put out his fifth of his series, his thoughts video. And I really like these, and I've been paying attention to the chat room here, and a lot of people have been commenting on how much they like your videos, Rodney, because you just kind of, I think you've been going over the mysterious writing 6 questions and bringing those back up and talking about them. And I think a lot of people like that they can kind of get that perspective in bringing those 6 questions and other things up. And Jason, looks like you got something you wanted to say, or?
No, I was trying to figure out how I could pull up Notepad to copy and paste some of these questions in here that we're not going to get to. But since I totally interrupted the whole thing, Ben Downing, he wanted to let you know that he's a new searcher and these videos have been invaluable, and he's finally glad to catch one live. Great.
Well, cool. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a plethora of great videos out there, Ben. Again, I'm one that doesn't want to, throw out too much noise. So I don't really talk about answers to clues and those types of things. But there's definitely some great videos out there by a plethora of, intelligent people, that have been in this chase for a while that have a lot of good information out there. Again, you need to be a free thinker and be able to make decisions for yourself. And I'm sure you will be, as we all are. But definitely some good stuff out there for sure. Next, we talked about Rodney, but I want to talk about RF Hecky, or Susie, as she keeps calling herself on her videos. So now I feel like I know her from watching her videos, and I really have a good time watching her videos. She has such a positive, fun outlook, and you just can't help but smile when you're watching her videos. And I picture her sitting back there with a big glass of wine, just having a good time. And so I really enjoy watching your videos, Susie. But she put out quite a few videos. She was literally on fire because in one of her videos, her smoke alarm started going off and she cut the video off. So Susie, I hope everything's okay. I hope we didn't catch the house on fire or something, but she's literally on fire this week with the amount of videos she put out. But a couple that I think there was 3 of them that I really paid attention to, and I personally really like, because she calls them simplifying the poem, and she was really breaking down a couple of single lines in the poem and looking at the definitions of words in the context. So again, me as a poem purist, of course, I'm biased and I'm going to like those probably more than anybody. But I thought she did an excellent job in those. But she has several other videos she put out this week. Jason, did you have something?
I do. A Gypsy's Kiss says you have now used your nightly quota for plethora. So that's where the drinking game starts.
I said plethora that many times?
Apparently so. And
it's like a 4-syllable word. I didn't realize I could, after half a beer, could say a 4-syllable word.
Yeah. And everybody,
or Tubi? Is that Toby, or that's your new name, Toby Tubi? I'm going to call you Tubi. Toby, is that you, or? Yeah, okay, it is. I was wondering if that was Jason or not.
Okay. No, Jason's in the room as well. A bunch of new people joined the room. And everybody's saying hello to everybody. Rambling Pam's here. David Kramer, of course, totally not Mitzi, and a whole bunch of others. So welcome, I like everybody.
This one that's named Unknown Searcher. We're all unknown searchers, but I like that name. That's actually, I get it. I like it. Cool. Now I want to next I want to plug Thor's website, The Hint of Riches, which is K-Pro's site. I know she's in here tonight, but there's something I want to plug on there. It was a thread that really caught my attention that I thought was a great idea, and that was one by Jeremy P. And Jeremy P put out a thread titled Myths in the Chase. And there's more to that, but I'm just calling it Myths in the Chase, where Jeremy started, he had said something that is what we all think is a total known in the chase. And then he went on to talk about how it's not or something, but it's a great thread. There's been a lot of chatter on that thread. And I think it was a great idea by Jeremy. And if you haven't gone over to the Hint of Riches forum, and I don't have a link in here, but before, tonight, I'll go back in there and put a link towards the bottom of there so people can find that thread exactly. If you're going back and watching this video later, it'll probably already be in there. But for those of you watching right now live, it's not in there. But I will put it in there. But it was a great idea by Jeremy, a great discussion. And I highly suggest you go check it out and contribute to it as well. And if you're not a member of the Hint of Riches forum, I highly suggest you go over there and check it out and become it. I know, Jason, you're one as well over there. I see you posting over there.
Very seldom. I really stay off the blogs. I should participate more. But you say you're a poem purist. I'm kind of a book and poem purist. I try to stay away from that. The things that I comment and post on there aren't really like search related or research related. It's more just like maybe a contest or just idle chat. So.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen you post over there a few times. It's good. Now I want to move on to Urban Taint. And Urban Taint put out a couple of videos this week. And one he put out was called Narrowing the Search Area. And he kind of went into overlapping the Outlaw Trail over to, the map out of Too Far to Walk book. And he kind of hinted at the Outlaw Trail because there is quite a few people that believe because of the mention of Robert Redford could have written a book better than, that Gatsby guy in the chapter Important Literature, that may be a possible hint to the Outlaw Trail because most of us do know that Robert Redford did write a book. So it's a very interesting take where he actually, superimposed that, the Outlaw Trail over onto the map and showed where it went in parts of Wyoming and Colorado and into New Mexico. So it's definitely interesting, and I highly suggest you go check out his videos. Does a good job. So Urban, keep them up. We like what you're putting out, buddy, and we're listening to you. And then those are the two videos he put out. Next, I want to talk about Why Must I Go? Why Must I Go this week put out a video titled Treasure Map and Symbols 101. And I didn't get a chance to go all the way through your video, Why Must I Go? But so I can't speak completely intelligently to it, but definitely you talked about there was some kind of post from your Facebook group who actually kind of sprung something in your mind and you went back into what they were talking about and then went into depth on that. So I will go back and finish watching your video and post some comments on there to update. And that pretty much catches us up with all the known fin tubers out there. But now I want to talk about some of the new stuff that I found this week. And last week I plugged a video by a gentleman named Zach Paris, and that was about a couple of searchers that went out searching for the chase. And I had said last week that I hadn't had a chance to go watch that. And boy, did I miss out. And if some of you have watched this, you know what I'm talking about because it's pretty much Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure meet Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. Or if you're old like me, Cheech and Chong meet Forrest Fenn. These guys, holy cow. These guys are from California. They jump in a Winnebago and they light it up, so to speak. And, they're eating some stuff from Mother Nature and just having a great old time. But as my good friend David Kramer had noted, it was kind of like the Griswolds showing up to Wally World because Yellowstone National Park was closed when they showed up there. And I don't want to give this all away, and I'm sorry, I don't want to give the spoiler alert, but it was absolutely hilarious. You've got to go watch their video. They edited it well. The Zach Ferris did a great job. These guys are having fun. It's their thrill of the chase. All I commented on is just be safe on our roads, guys. I'm hoping that they were safe and what we see, they weren't driving and maybe somebody else was driving. I don't know. But anyway, it's a great video. It's very well edited, well done. The guys were having fun. It's their thrill of the chase. It's different for all of us. So just go easy on flaming the poor guys. No pun intended. Now, next, I want to talk about Dale Richards. He's actually been a commenter. I think he's actually in the chat right now. but Dale Richards put out a video about Warm Waters Halt. And this was a short 30-second video that showed some nice scenery and stuff from the Browns Park area up in the northern part of Colorado. And Dale has also promised to put out several other videos and stuff that he has taken from that area. So Dale, we definitely look forward to your video, but it was definitely some nice videos and I enjoyed seeing the scenery. Good job. And we definitely look forward to hearing more from you or seeing more from you. And now there was another one out there called CAN, capital C-A-N, Treasure Solved. And this is a series, a 10-part series by a gentleman that is actually, giving us his solve. I haven't watched all the videos yet, so I can't talk completely on what his solve is. And I just highly suggest you go watch it out so I don't give anything away. So I think you should go check it out and see. That might be in your area, and you might be able to pick up some information from this gentleman's solve. Now that pretty much wraps up all of the the stuff that happened in the Fenn Tube universe and on the blogs and everything else. But two other things I just want to mention, if you're not aware of, we did have two new articles that came out. One was on the 2nd of July, which was the Guardian article. And then another one was the Forbes article that I mentioned earlier that was written, and it was almost, to me, kind of like a rehash of what Margie Goldsmith had previously put out in 2013. A little bit of new information in there, but nothing, in my opinion, that was groundbreaking. But in the Guardian article, they did, they did feature a couple of known searchers. One, which is Sasha Johnston, and I believe she's in the chat room tonight, and also featured a little bit from Cynthia Meacham as well. So if you haven't gone and watched both of those, read those articles, I highly suggest you go watch or read them. And the links are in the description below, so you can go check those out. So that pretty much wraps up, all the stuff that happened in the YouTube and the blog and the forum universe. Jason, did you have anything to add before we kind of move on to the opinion piece?
Did you want to go over a couple questions in the chat before you do your opinion piece?
Let's do the opinion piece, and then we'll do the chat room.
Okay, gives them enough time to type some stuff in there.
Yep.
Or leave.
Right. Again, guys, this is pretty much the end of, kind of the weekend update and what happened in the week. And now this is when I segue into what I like to call my opinion piece. So if you're not interested in hearing my opinion, by all means, shut it down. And, if you like the video, give it a like. If you don't like it, that's fine too. And if you haven't already and you'd like the videos, subscribe as well. So now we're going to move on to my opinion piece. And my opinion this week is I really want, to let everybody know. I've had a lot of people, and I say a lot of people, I've had a few people kind of give a little bit of criticism, and I understand where their criticism is coming from. And this criticism has been centered around, you're really not supposed to give us your opinion. You're really just supposed to be telling us what happened this week. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you that I am a non-paid spokesperson. I have not been asked by anybody to put these weekend updates together. I am not paid by Forrest. I'm not paid by Dow or a Gypsy's Kiss or anybody else. I am my own person, and I do this freely from my own time that I take away from my family and my weekends. I do this on my own because I enjoy this. I enjoy giving back to the community that I have learned so much from. And this is my thrill of the chase. This is what I want to give back. So, I am going to give my opinion, and I'm not paid by anybody. I don't ask for donations, and I don't solicit that because, one, I don't want to feel like I'm obligated to any one person or any community or anything. It's kind of like politics. You get a lot of politicians that get a lot of money sent to them, and they feel obligated to swing votes their way or whatever. And I know there's a word for that, and it escapes me right now. But guys, I am a non-paid spokesperson, and I will provide my opinion. I try not to criticize. I try not to be critical of others. I'm sure I am. I don't mean to come off that way. But, this is a show that I enjoy putting together for the community because, again, I like giving back. So I hope that you understand that and that you respect that. If you don't, there's a dislike button, and you can just as well hit that as you do the like button, and you're not going to hurt my feelings any bit. So, Jason, I know that you wanted to comment on that a little bit. You had mentioned, so you got the floor, buddy.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. It's difficult putting live chats on. It takes time, it takes equipment. It takes bandwidth and all that stuff comes at a price. Subscriptions to software services, it all costs money. So it is a community service that we're providing, especially for the guys that aren't monetized on their channels. You can't even do that till you hit 1,000 subscribers. So, it's not even really worth trying to hustle for a buck on YouTube with that low of numbers anyway. You're not even going to make money doing that. So it is really a community service. I'm not putting the videos out to make a profit. I may occasionally put a link in there for a PayPal account just in case somebody wants to, but I haven't got any donations. It's all out of pocket, just same as Sean said. So it is something that we're doing just to keep the community informed, whether it's my videos and the things that I show or the weekend updates and things Sean shows. Nobody's sponsoring us. Nobody is telling us what to post and what to publish. We have to do our own research. We have to, make our own contacts and get our own guests and everything else on there. So it is tough. It is a challenge. If you guys, don't like it, like Sean said, hit the thumbs down button or unsubscribe. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm doing it out of the goodness of my heart, just to keep community informed. They are all my opinions, and there are some things I don't share because I don't feel like I want to reveal that much for the research that I've done. But I'll try to post things that encourage people to change their way of thinking or to steer them in a different direction than what they are in. So that's kind of my 2 cents on the subject.
Well said, brother. We're preaching to the same choir right now.
Yep.
It does. I have a lot of respect for Gypsy's Kiss and everybody else out there that put some of these videos together. I didn't realize, how much work it was, doing a lot of editing and things like that. And that's a big reason why, people, like Bill Gorman, people like, Fenn Treasure Hunter and a Gypsy's Kiss who do the live videos. It's, I have a lot of respect for those people who put those out because you're really putting yourself out there. And, it does become a little less time cumbersome to do the live videos because you aren't doing the editing process. And, I want to spend as much time with my family and not away from them. So it does make it a little bit easier to have to do the editing and stuff. So it's a lot more fun. You get the response, the immediate response from the chat community and stuff. And speaking of that, let's go now, move over to the chat room and take a few minutes to answer some of those questions. Again, I like to keep this to 30 minutes. I didn't think that would be possible tonight. You can hear my cat. I've got a St. Bernard and a cat, and the cat pretty much runs the house. He will tell that dog who is boss. You can probably hear him in the background. But anyway, we're going to move to the chat room and go to that. Boy, we got a lot of chat.
Oh, a lot of chat. So let's see.
The first one I've got that was highlighted comes from Jason Eunice, and that one is flip side of Forrest Fenn's treasure hunt. I've also been recommending Shannon's video about how to search for information on Google to new searchers. Yeah, that is a great video. If you haven't gone and watched that, Shannon gave out a plethora of there's that word again. Toby, I got a drink for you. Gives out a bunch of information about how to use Google and how to have little tricks and stuff to optimize your Google searches. So yeah, definitely good point there, Jason.
Jason, he's on a roll tonight. He wants to know, Flip, do you live stream from breweries just to look important in a crowd?
Who asked this and what was it again?
Jason Eunice. He wants to know if you live stream from breweries just to look important in a crowd.
No, I live stream from the breweries because I get the beer brought to me.
You can't argue with that logic. They should. Now, look, you should get sponsorship from them, so they just bring you the beers for free because you're giving them shout outs.
Yeah,
so work that angle.
Three Rivers Brewery, Ska, Santa Fe, all those guys. If you're listening or somebody there, spread the word. I thought I saw one in there for you. Treasure Hunter. I was really glad that you got experience, and thanks for sharing it with us. I did see that from Jason.
Yep. Ben Downing, he saw one of my older videos and asked if I bought a Sprinter van yet to do the conversion. I have not, but one of these days. they're a little pricey right now. So.
Oh, Sasha Johnson is saying I have a good reason to worry. What am I worrying about, Sasha? A lot of chat. Everybody's talking to each other. That's what's, and I don't know if you've noticed this before, and I think you and I have discussed it offline, is that the chat room just does a great job of communicating with each other and just having a good time in there, and they just ignore us and we just go on about what we say. So.
Yeah. So one day I was super busy and almost didn't do a Tuesday chat, but I was contemplating whether I should just start the live chat and just show this thing in the background and just walk away and, do everything.
Back. I got to go to the store, get some more beer, guys,
Yeah, I'm sure the chat would keep going. I mean, these conversations, the comments are great. I think it's important, to do the live chat so everybody can talk with each other in real time. A lot of these people don't talk, in person like we might, make a phone call or shoot a text here and there. But,
and it's different. It's kind of different in the, than in the forums too, because it gives them opportunity to chat live and kind of, chat with everybody too right away and get instant, instead of waiting a day or hours to get a response, they can kind of get one automatically. I see one here that's directed to you. It said, Fenn Treasure Hunter, did you get a chance to show him the drawing? And I think he's referring to the drawing associated with that point that you got.
Yeah. And, the point, he told me in detail what that was and the history behind it and how you could tell the, conchoidal fractures and, based upon different little marks on here, you could tell it was used as a tool and came from a larger piece and very valuable knowledge, and I think a 2-minute conversation, he told me more than I could probably find out in a month researching it myself.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So just that, that alone is well worth the trip. But the little Running Man sketch, I really didn't talk about it. It was kind of dismissed. Didn't hurt my feelings any, but he asked me, he's like, oh, well, if you saw that, why didn't you just grab the chest, in true fashion? But it was like, come on, like you don't think I looked that whole square mile over after I found?
You'll look it over like 10 more times now, aren't you?
Yeah. So
there's another one here from Ben Downing, and it's kind of more of a statement. I think it comes from him. Fenn Treasure Hunter, I just got through your older topographic map videos. They are great, potentially life-saving for any hunter or hiker. Paper never fails. So yeah, that's a good compliment to you there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think I should probably redo them in some way, shape, or form, but I just don't really know how to cut them up into smaller pieces that are easily digested. And maybe not like the military topographic maps, but like more readily accessible maps that others might use from Yellowstone or Carson National Forest or wherever. So I need to do a little bit more research to get the proper maps to do that. But, A Gypsy's Kiss also has a video on maps, so I'm not the sole source for a lot of stuff. I made my video. I didn't realize that Toby had his videos, but his videos actually cover different types of maps than the video I did. So, yeah. But, I appreciate you checking out all my videos.
Yeah.
So thank you, Ben.
And one from David Kramer here. It said, Fenn Treasure Hunter, I'll search with service members, but I ain't camping ever again.
Yeah, speaking of that.
A pup tent for David.
Yeah, a little public service announcement. There might be a couple weeks coming up that I will be unavailable for my live chats on Tuesdays. I will be spending every night out in the desert, not in the search area. I'll probably be eating sand every day.
The National Training Center, or where are you going?
No, it'll be local to Fort Bliss, but it's just gonna suck. So I'm not really motivated for it.
We got one here. Oh no, that one I've already read from Ben. We'll move on.
Old K-Pro Chris, she's kind of put me on the spot here. She's saying, Fenn Treasure Hunter, best Fenn story, share. I think the best Fenn story that I had was, you were in the military, so you kind of know, and others have been in the military, so they know kind of the role that a senior non-commissioned officer plays. And the story that really resonates with me is, you know, a master sergeant he saw over in Vietnam dumping hydraulic fluid out of a 55-gallon drum. And so he approached him because, you know, those drums of hydraulic fluid are really expensive, especially to get over to Vietnam at the time. So he approached him and asked him that, like, hey, Master, what the hell are you doing? You know, why are you dumping this stuff out? And, you know, the Master Sergeant's response was, I need to clean out this barrel to make a barbecue grill for my soldiers. So, you know, they probably came back from a tough mission or firefight or something and needed some morale. So they're probably I'm speculating, but probably having a morale barbecue over there just to keep their spirits up before the next mission.
Yep.
I can totally relate to that being a senior NCO. So, you know, that story probably resonated with me a little bit more than most.
So what do you think would happen now if you did the same thing?
In that same situation?
Yeah, no, that if you were doing that and dumping out some hydraulic fluid, I mean, it's a totally different army now. I mean, you know that.
Well, you know, Forrest told me he would probably do the same thing and just, you know, let the guy do it and walk on. You know, it didn't pursue anything. But man, I'm going to tell you, EPA will fine us $10,000 for just a drop of oil. Yeah. You know, we get oil or fuel in the ground. We got to dig to the furthest wet spot and like an additional 3 feet below that to remove all the contaminated soil and double bag it. And then we got to turn it in and you know, the units can get fined for that. So yeah, I probably would not do that.
Yeah, I got a question here from Ben Downing. He says, at flip side, Browns Park or Browns Canyon? I think he's referring to Dale Richards. Dale Richards was putting out videos, I believe, on Browns Park in that area. Dale, if you're in the room, I'm sure you can probably correct us. I thought I saw you in there. David Kramer's a lot of good talk back and forth here.
Yeah, I do like that name, Unknown Searcher. That's what I shouldn't have done Finn Treasure Hunter. I should have done Unknown Searcher. I'm actually a little bit jealous.
Treasure Hunter.
Yeah.
Keep the mystery up. Jason was talking to you about looks like some inside joke you guys were talking about or something.
Oh.
You got one here from a Gypsy's Kiss. Hey, it's your channel. You get to do what you want. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Toby. But again, you know, I think that there's some responsibility in it, but yeah, I'm a non-paid spokesperson. I can pretty much do what I want until I think it was somebody when I did my first weekend update and I was drinking a Corona, you know, somebody had said, hey, you can't do that on TV. And I basically said, you know, until I get syndicated or when I get syndicated, maybe I'll change, but that's never going to happen, obviously.
Dale Richards asks, did Finn take you on a tour of his aspen trees? Well, he didn't take me on a tour of the aspen trees, but I did get to walk the backyard and see the pond and the areas back there and the wagon ruts from the Santa Fe Trail. So very, very interesting. Like I said, his whole property is a museum. It's incredible.
Yeah. I'm still running through here looking for some stuff. We're getting towards the bottom. There's been a lot of chat. Holy cow, with just 41 people in here, there's a lot of chat going on. It's great. I love to see you guys talking amongst each other. I think it's, again, like Jason and I were saying, I think it's a great opportunity just for the community to keep in touch with each other. And I see a lot of, you know, little friendships, you know, being made. And I hope that you guys get to, you know, talk amongst yourselves, you know, and you know, outside of this as well. I'm sure you do. Here's one from Sasha. Flip side, you should be worried about my bad behavior. Okay. At Sean from Dale Richards, we don't ignore you, just pretend we are. Okay. That's fine too. You don't hurt my feelings. Finn Treasure Hunter. Yeah, sprinters are higher, and I thought about getting a Toyota 4Runner TRD Pro and converting it into a sleeper. Let me know. Yeah. Be a cool chase vehicle, huh? Sean, y'all are just the eye candy background. I don't have a background. I got me and the light switch. That's it. You must be talking about the light switch, Mitty.
David Kramer at Finn Treasure Hunter. Since you have been there, do you now believe the chest needs to go home when found? It needs to go to my home when found. I don't care about anybody else's home. And then, oh man, I just lost it.
Well, Jason Eunice says to you, Finn Treasure Hunter, remember you saying you could just leave the live stream going, and thought, yeah. That works.
So Ben Downing commented on that. He said, yeah, just a 24-hour live chat with rotating moderators, you know?
Right. That's
so
funny.
You know what? I may do that one of these days. I may just throw my chat on, just leave it up there, and just let the chat box do whatever it will. So.
You'll be getting calls from YouTube. Sir, can you please shut down your channel?
Yeah.
You're taking all our bandwidth. Where are we at here? See if I can catch some more.
Jason Eunice, Kirtland Air Force Base had a massive jet spill that went unreported, slowly leaking towards the giant aquifer under Albuquerque. Yeah, so, you know, the military and EPA, they do not play about oil leaks. And I'm sure anybody that's been in the military who's had wheeled vehicles in a motor pool understands the pain about cleaning up oil spills.
Cleaning up a class 3 leak.
Yep.
I got one here from Ben Downing. He says, what are you pouring? Ben, I had said it in the beginning of the show. I don't know if you saw it, but this is a beer from Santa Fe Brewing Company. It is called the Happy Camper IPA. And I am definitely a happy camper tonight because it is Saturday and I don't have to go to work tomorrow. So I am a happy camper.
Stephen Marilot, F-150 plus bed tent for the camping. Yep, that's exactly what I'm using.
Same here. I got one with a camper shell on the back.
Yeah, I don't have the camper shell, but I do have the tent that goes over the back.
Yep. Another one from Sasha. I asked Forrest if he ever saw a UFO once. I got a better response than I ever expected. That'll be a story you'll have to tell us, Sasha. Unknown searcher. Where are we going here? Yeah, there's a lot of great chat between you guys. I love seeing that.
Yeah, I really enjoy going back through the live chats on here just to see the community come together.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, the new searchers, you know, talking with a lot of the seasoned searchers through the chat box. It's quite
I got to ask you a question of somebody in the chat room. So, Toby, this goes to you. How does it feel to be on the other side of this now? I mean, I know you do a lot of shows, so is it a lot more relaxing? I mean, are you sitting there in your boxers and a wife beater, you know, drinking some coffee, or what are you doing tonight? You know, I'm just curious, man. I mean, this has got to be different for you. And then another one from Ben Downing here. There's one from David Kramer to you. Finn Treasure Hunter, since you have been there, do you now – oh, you already read this one. I'm sorry. One from Ben Downing. Thank you for your work promoting the community with these live videos. Great chat here. Yeah, I think it's good to have – the live chats are, I think, way better because it does provide you guys, the community, you know, a chance to communicate with one another. I think it's way better than just doing a editing one and doing all that and just posting it, because it does give you guys a chance. You know, it puts a lot more pressure on the person who's doing it because they've got to sound intelligent. And
yep. RF Hecky, she's got a good comment. Look, she put out so many videos.
Hi, Susie.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Glad to have you in here.
Yep, she put out a lot of videos. I didn't get to watch them all. So I'm kind of ashamed for that. But let's see. Finn Treasure Hunter, what do you think of the idea of Forrest Fenn leave map pinpoint within the book, or what do you think of being able to walk right up to the chest? I'm just going to say that, you know, look, if Forrest Fenn said it, I believe it. If it's something that was like mentioned from a reporter or a blog site, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
So
I'm right there with him. I've got one here from Ben Downing, and there was two of them kind of together. He says, I can send you a green screen if you want it. I'm just gonna do like Jason Eunice does, and I'm just gonna put up a green towel behind me.
Hey, that's what I have. I have
on you, Jason.
I bought
I know you're in there.
Look, my green screen back there is $3.64 run of fabric from Home Depot. So, or not Home Depot, but Hobby Lobby.
And just to kind of answer that, Ben, and I'm not saying I won't ever do that or put up a green screen or anything. I try and keep things pretty simple. It costs money to do some certain things, and I'd rather focus my money on buying my kids toys or taking them out to the park or doing those things. But I also want to make the videos somewhat duplicatable, that it's somebody that is considering doing a YouTube channel or something, they don't feel that they have to put on a giant production. And that's not a knock on anybody. It's just saying that I want to keep it simple. And I'm not very, savvy electronic wise, and I've taken a lot of advice from Toby to do things, but I want to make things duplicatable. And I don't want people to think that they have to put on a huge production just to put their thoughts and viewpoints and opinions out there. So try and just keep it simple. That's just my opinion.
Yep.
We're getting towards the bottom here, it looks like. Yeah, and we're right at an hour, guys. So I'd like to keep it that.
Wow.
This is way over what I expected it would go.
Super quick hour.
It's been great having Jason in here. This might be something I do in the future with the weekend updates. I'll just watch, your comments after we close this out and what you guys think of it. And, maybe we'll do that. Maybe I'll bring a guest in every week and do the weekend update with them. I think it's fun. Definitely adds a little bit more, content and diversity to it. Jason Eunice, LOL, I deserve that. That's why I started to hang a flag to break it up. Okay. It's just kind of funny, Jason. I thought it was funny when we were doing the panels over at a Gypsy's Kiss. So I just thought I'd throw that one at you.
RF Hecky, she's like, I could tell you all that I don't know how to edit video without a computer, so you guys get as I record it. Well, the good thing about live is you can just keep going. Just forget about editing your video. Yeah. Just go on live. Whatever you say is whatever you say. Yeah,
if you've watched the after show, you know what happens there.
Yeah.
Hey, Susie, I love what you're doing. I don't know if you heard what I said about your channel earlier today. I love what you're doing. It's enjoyable. I feel like you're just sitting behind the screen drinking a big glass of wine and just having a good time. So keep up whatever you're doing. I think it's great. You come across as a lot of fun, and I enjoy watching your videos. So keep up what you're doing. Don't worry about it. I think do your own thing. Your thrill of the chase. Have a good time with it. And that's what I tell people. It's your thrill of the chase. It's not, you don't have to worry about what other people are doing. Gypsy's Kiss, another one from Toby. Anything to less setup and post-production time. Yep. David, we have to talk UFOs on Wednesday. Okay. Anything goes on the after party. We won't even talk about the chase. We'll just talk about UFOs. Jason, thanks, guys. You do a great job of building the community. Yeah, I think we're having fun. I mean, I think Toby does a great job of promoting the whole community. Again, I think it was Shannon Oots that said it best. Toby and Shannon are kind of like the mom and dad, and Shelly, by no means could you be considered the mom of the chase. You're just way too young and too good looking to consider that. So we'll just leave it at that. But guys, it's been a fun night. This is something different. I like it. I like having a guest here doing the weekend update. I think it adds a different level to it, and getting some other insight from another Fenn tuber and searcher out there in the community, his perspective of what happened that week. I think it's great. And I think maybe I'll do that, every week and try and bring a different guest in here. I know there's been a couple people that have emailed me and been knocking on the door wanting to come in, and maybe, we'll give those people that opportunity to come in here and do that. So, I'll be reaching out to some of those people. Jason, do you have anything you want to plug your channel or what you're doing here in the future and what's going on?
Yeah, appreciate you inviting me on. I want to apologize to everybody in the chat room because I didn't do my due diligence or homework to look at everybody's videos and the chat sites to see what happened this week while I was off, enjoying my 4th. And I encourage everybody to go over to the last live video I put out, which was 4th of July with Forrest Fenn. If you haven't seen it, take a look at it. And I'll apologize. I had a little embedding the video, I had a little issue with that during live. It just, you know, takes a lot of processor on the laptop. You know, I should have sent it all to Toby and had him do it for me. But, you know, I think it's important for everybody to see that, just to kind of see, you know, what a visit, you know, with Forrest is like. And, you know, just to know that, you know, he's a real person, and, you know, he's a very humble man as well. So go look at that video. And I appreciate everybody, you know, all the subscribers I have. It's Finn Treasure Hunter, you know, here on YouTube, or you can email me at finntreasurehunter@gmail.com. But thank you, Sean, for inviting me tonight.
No, it was a pleasure having you on tonight. And again, great props to, you know, representing the community as well as you did, you know, and representing our military, you know, with Forrest Fenn. I think that was great. I think you did an outstanding job in putting your video together as well. So definitely props to you. And guys, it's been a great night. It's been a lot of fun. We hope that you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a like. If you don't like it, there's the other button as well, and you're not going to hurt me or Jason's feelings by pushing that. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And when it does go active on there, if you've got some comments and you wish to comment, you know, you can put the comments down below. Again, I will be updating and putting a few you know, links down below after the video, so the things we talked about. But everything should be in there now, with the exception of the things I had. So it's been a fun night, guys. And just real quick, I will plug our Wednesday channel, which is the After Hours party. And we will be doing that this Wednesday, immediately following A Gypsy's Kiss. So we look forward to catching you all on the flip side. Good night, folks. Hit the wrong button. We're still here.